CCIW tournament time from Elmhurst College. R.A. Faginal Hall is the location as the CCIW tournament opens with the play-in match this evening as Elmhurst takes on North Central College, a team that they defeated earlier this season in 4 sets in a match that was seen here on Blue Jay TV. I'm Tim Calderwood. Kevin Jude is alongside tonight, and Kevin always goes to a different level when you reach tournament time.
Absolutely, Tim. Elmhurst, this is the play-in match for the conference tournament. Technically not considered part of the conference tournament, but this is the key match. The winners will advance. The losers' season comes to a close, basically. It's 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6 is what we have tonight, and 4 versus 5. Elmhurst, the 3 seed, taking on 6-seeded North Central.
And the other matches this evening, Milliken, the number 1 seed, hosts North Park. Carthage is the number 2 seed. They host Illinois Wesleyan, and Augustana is hosting Wheaton in that 4-5 matchup as Elmhurst prepares to take on North Central. Elmhurst 23-12. They finished 5-2 in the CCIW. The Blue Jays ups and downs in the College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin. 4 sets over Illinois Wesleyan, 4 sets over North Central, 5 sets down at Milliken, 4 sets down at Carthage, 3-set win over Augustana and Wheaton, and a 3-set victory to close the season at North Park as well. And we are underway this evening as the Blue Jays looking to get on the board first and due with Megan Reynolds.
Megan Reynolds, the middle hitter for the Blue Jays, freshman, leading this team in both kills and blocks per set. Let's run over the Elmhurst lineup. Antonea V.C. Smith on the outside. Melissa Milkey, also the doubling as an outside hitter, and DS. Caitlin Wilkes and Megan Reynolds in the middle. Hannah Lesson, also one of those DS outside hitters, and Erin Thill, the setter, with Perry Morgan playing the role of libero for the Blue Jays.
Left-handed try from Kelly Ador is way long.
For the Cardinals, Amber Ladwig in the middle. Joelle Lucen, the libero. Anna Wirtz, the defensive specialist. Kelly Ador on the right side. Allie Briner in the middle. Ryan Lally is the setter, and Crystal Wright, the last outside hitter for the Cardinals.
First 2 points in the opening set belong to Elmhurst, and a mishandle on the set attempt provides a side out to North Central. So we told you what Elmhurst did in the CCIW. North Central finished 2-5, but still captured the 6th seed, losing to Milliken in 4 sets, losing to Elmhurst in 4 sets, upending Illinois Wesleyan in 5 and North Park in 4, before being swept at Wheaton, falling to Augustana in 5, and falling to Carthage in 4. So those are the results for the Cardinals entering the CCIW tournament this evening. They have evened things up at 2-a-side with Crystal Wright serving. Erin Thill sets it up, and a huge attempt from Hannah Lesson that North Central is able to handle. A back set towards V.C. Smith, who finds an opening. Good positioning by V.C. Smith.
Looked like Wright just kind of slipped on the floor a little bit that time, Tim. She was on her way in, and V.C. Smith just dumped it for the back row.
Hannah Lesson on serve, freshman out of Bloomington, Illinois. Up the left edge of the floor. From the back row, it will be Wright tapping it over.
Blue Jays have to take advantage of all those free balls that the Cardinals are serving over. But a very nice play that time from the outside is Harner finding the floor, just dumping it over the Elmhurst block.
Elmhurst in the net was the call, and we are even at 3. First meeting, 4 sets. Elmhurst won the first 2, 25-22 and 25-20. North Central in the third, 25-23, before the 4th set was dominated by the Blue Jays in one of their better sets of action this year, 25-11. V.C. Smith puts the Blue Jays back in front at 4-3. Kevin, what does it do when you see a team the second time around?
Well, teams know how to play each other a little bit better. You know what you're looking for defensively in particular. Cardinals saw how the Blue Jays attacked them last time, and vice versa, so did Elmhurst. You mentioned the last meeting, Tim, and a mishandle here by the Cardinals off the serve, and the Blue Jays with a 2-point advantage. We saw last meeting, Blue Jays opened up those first 2 sets. Those scores were close, but they really weren't for part of the middle there, as Elmhurst used some big runs to open up commanding leads, and then the Cardinals kind of fought their way back in. Elmhurst would sure like to make short work of the Cardinals tonight.
Perry Morgan digging it out after the ace, and a diving effort by Erin Thill, but couldn't get enough on it to guide it, and it's 5-4.
That's one of those balls where you almost are better off letting your back row player and Hannah Lesson take that one, as opposed to Phil trying to run all the way over. She's not going to get much on a set to begin with. You'd rather Lesson be able to right there to make the handle on that one and maybe set up an attack.
Anna Wirtz for the deep serve. On the left side, it's Melissa Milkey. Tapped ahead. North Central attempting to rally. Taylor Grossi on the left side. Grossi again off of the Blue Jay blockers. VC Smith taps it over the net. From the back row, it is mishit by Wirtz into the net. So talking about that first meeting, Elmhurst was led by Megan Mullaney's 10 kills in the matchup. Megan Reynolds with 9, Hannah Lesson 7, Caitlin Wilkes 7, and Janelle Thompson 7. And Kevin, that's kind of been the story of Elmhurst this season. A lot of balance. They can beat you from many different positions. This
is a very, very young and talented Blue Jay team. Just one upperclassman on the entire roster. And another mishandle here on Elmhurst serve by the Cardinals. One upperclassman, that is Janelle Thompson, the senior. Otherwise, they're all sophomores and freshmen, and they're 11 games over 500 at the conclusion of the regular season. The Cardinals are really struggling with Elmhurst serve, Tim.
Katie Rufer, one of the other setters for the Blue Jays who sees time, is on serve. It's nice when you can take your opponent out of position right away with the serve. Crystal Wright does her best to keep it alive. Locked towards the Blue Jays and set attack from Melissa Milkey. Perfect spot.
Great placement. Nice job by Caitlin Wilkes to dig that ball up off the attack from the Cardinals. And Milkey saw the whole back row charging and just dumped it right down the line.
Glad you are with us on Blue Jay TV. We will have one final fall sports broadcast coming your way Saturday afternoon. Mark Kruger will be joined by Tony Minestra as the Elmhurst football team wraps up the home portion of their schedule against Augustana. Side out for North Central at a big needed time. It is 8-5 in favor of Elmhurst here in the first.
Amber Ladwig just pounding that right down the line, the junior out of Hampshire.
And already next week, our winter schedule will begin with some wrestling action on November 11th.
2 weeks we start the basketball season is upon us. Live coverage of the men's and women's openers in just a little more than 2 weeks from now.
Serving error for Janae Harner off the top of the net and down. 9-5 in favor of Elmhurst.
This is very similar to what we saw the Blue Jays do earlier in this year. Open up a lead and then just try to point them to death. Go back and forth a little bit. Keep that 4 or 5 point advantage.
Serving. And Ryan Lally pounds it home. 9-6 here in this opening set. Glad you're with us on Blue Jay TV this evening. A back set towards Janelle Thompson, and the senior with a huge kill.
Jamie Droz couldn't get out of the way quick enough for the Cardinals. It looked like that may have been going out. Droz there got a hand on it. Elmhurst reestablishes the 4 point advantage.
Caitlin Wilkes up the middle with her serve. Kept alive by the Blue Jays. Onto the left edge for Hannah Lesson. Joelle Lucen knocks it airborne, and the Cardinals cannot get it over 4 hits.
Another mishandle, and the Cardinals really struggling here early on, and that's going to force Karen Saramet to burn her first time out here. 11-6 lead, and as Tim, we've seen the Blue Jays really getting the Cardinals on their heels again defensively, similar to what we saw in this first match when we first met at R.A. Fagnall Hall.
CCIW regular season standings wound out with Milliken on top. Big Blue were a perfect 7-0. Carthage was second with their lone loss coming at Milliken. Elmhurst third at 5-2. Augustana fourth, 4-3. Wheaton 3-4. North Central 2-5. Illinois Wesleyan 1-6. And North Park 0-7. Those are the standings in the CCIW as things wrapped up during the regular season. And again tonight, it is the tournament play-in match. 3 others going on presently around the College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin. We talked about the first meeting and some of the numbers for Elmhurst. Well, North Central in the first meeting hit 098. They were led by Allie Briner's 11 kills. Shanna Luce with 7. Crystal Wright with 7 as well for the Cardinals. The Blue Jays countered with a 171 hitting percentage in that first meeting. And another pretty good serve here from Elmhurst out of the timeout. And it is just wide up the far side, as the Blue Jays now hold a 12-6 advantage.
You know, Julie Hall would love to see them Blue Jays hitting over 200, but at the same time, North Central hitting below 100 in that opening match, something that Karen Sermakunkas can't be pleased with. Something that North Central definitely has to improve tonight if they're going to beat the Blue Jays.
Jump ball at the net. Lesson tries to shoulder out of the way. Attacking Wirtz. To the left side, it's punched by Crystal Wright.
Near collision by the Blue Jays that time.
Wright again. Found an opening.
Just over the hands of Janelle Thompson and dropped it right in front of Melissa Milkey.
I think she was looking for some help behind her there. 12-7 as North Central posts the side out. And it will be Allie Sanders to serve. And it's long.
Cardinals not helping their own chances here. A couple of handling errors and two, that's their second service error of the match here, just 20 points in.
And they had 7 serving errors in the first meeting between these two schools, which was again here at R.A. Faginal Hall back on September 21st. 13-7 first set. Elmhurst with the lead. Aaron Thill returns and is still serving. And it is a one and done on the serve as North Central pushes it off of the blockers at the net.
Kelly Ader just played that right off the fingertips, I think, off of Megan Reynolds that time, and it just trickled right down the net. Not much the Blue Jays can do on that one.
Hill back for VC Smith. Split the defense.
Great cross-court read by Antonia VC Smith that time. Perfect reception of the serve. Great set to the outside, and VC Smith coming around off the curl puts it cross-court for the winner.
One thing Elmhurst did very well in their 4-set win over North Central earlier this year also was block. 7 solo blocks, 10.5 total blocks in their matchup against North Central, but they cannot block here. And it is 14-9 with Joelle Lucen stepping back to serve, the junior out of Joliet.
Kelly Ader just pounded that last one straight down the line for the Cardinals.
Tipped. No, it was out. 14-10. Lucen serving again. In the black jersey as the libero for North Central, who is in the red. Lucen digs it out, set over at the net, and Reynolds attacks.
Reynolds just kind of trying to swing that one up over the net, took advantage of the Cardinals, had all those defenders up front. Unable to go cross-court again with the winner.
Here's Perry Morgan serving at one of the Elmhurst aces early on, sophomore out of Avon, Indiana. Morgan in on the act defensively as well. Wilkes has it swatted back. Phil to the left edge. Milkey over the blockers and down.
Miscommunication that time by North Central. Lusson and Harner couldn't decide who was going to pick that one up. They both kind of looked at each other. Lusson got a hand on it, but not much of a chance there for the Cardinals.
16-10 in the first set here at Elmhurst College.
Seen a lot of unforced errors here by the Cardinals early on, Tim.
Set over by Milkey. Cardinals attempt to recover. Janae Harner has it swatted back. With the left hand, the try from Kelly Ador is long.
Nice job by Perry Morgan just ducking out of the way last second. Let that one sail over her head. Over the back line.
Elmhurst 9-2 at home this season. Mentioned their 23-12 overall record. That comes on the heels of consecutive losses at Wisconsin Whitewater over the weekend after opening with a pair of victories over Finlandia and Lakeland. They lost in 3 sets to Luther and Whitewater.
On that Luther match couldn't have been any closer. 31-29, 25-22, and 26-24.
Milkey attacking back right. And it is pushed out on the try from Jamie Droz.
18-11 and a 7-point Elmhurst advantage, and this is where you get in that situation where you're not afraid to trade points here with the Cardinals. Keep North Central from getting any kind of run going here, and the Blue Jays can just go back and forth and string this one out to take the opening set.
Elmhurst won 6 matches in a row from October 12th through October 22nd, and that did include a pair of CCIW sweeps as the Blue Jays come up with a block on the left side.
I don't know if that was a block at all or if I just think another one that Ladwood couldn't handle. It looked like she almost tossed that one backwards, Tim.
They had won 4 in a row before losing those consecutive contests this weekend at Wisconsin Whitewater. So they're looking to right the ship at the proper time. Milky has it swatted. Diving is Morgan, but it's out of her reach. Good job on the right side for North Central.
Cardinal blockers got there first. Good positioning by North Central. Skied that ball off the top of the block over the front row of the Blue Jays into open space.
The winners of the CCIW play-in matches will meet this weekend. At stake, the CCIW's automatic bid into the NCAA tournament. Joelle Lucen from the back row, the libero with a try. And Katie Rufer has problems as the Blue Jays are into the net. And North Central has slowly pushed to within 19-13. A back set for Milky. Kept alive by the Cardinals. Leading Amber Ladwig and could not get it over the net.
20-13, 7-point cushion now for the Blue Jays. Very strong start for Elmhurst early on.
Crystal Wright blocked off of the blockers. It's 20-14. Serving is Ladwig. Lesson guides it over the net. And a back set towards the back row. Rufer over towards Janelle Thompson. Here is Wright again. Up the right side, it was tipped.
Cardinals fighting back to within 5. Let's see if Julie Hall is going to take a timeout, and she will.
20-15 in the first. North Central pushing to within 5 here in the opening set of play in the CCIW's play-in match.
Other matches around the CCIW, Tim. We talked about the 1 versus 8 seeding. That's the North Park University Vikings playing at Millikin University tonight. Millikin, the regular season conference champions, 7-0, have the top seed in the tournament. It's theirs to host if they win. Highest remaining seed after these play-in matches will host the conference tournament. It's number 7 Illinois Wesleyan playing at number 2 Carthage in Kenosha tonight. We already talked about North Central and Elmhurst. The 6 versus the 3, and the final match, the 5th seeded Wheaton Thunder traveling to Rock Island. They're playing the 4th seed Augustana College.
We do have a score from the Carthage-Illinois Wesleyan match where it shows Carthage 19, Illinois Wesleyan 15 in the first set of play.
Lady Reds had their streak of consecutive conference championships ended this year by Millikin as the Big Blue knocked them off in 5.
Amber Ladwig serving for North Central. A back set towards Rufer off the noggin of Janelle Thompson. It was blocked to Thompson and then off of her head and down on the North Central side.
Thompson made the swing. Allie Briner got the block back over the net, but like you said, it went off of almost the forehead of Janelle Thompson, back over Briner's head and onto the floor. And the Blue Jays within 4 points of this opening set.
Caitlin Wilkes, the freshman out of Union Grove, Wisconsin, serving. Rufer leading Megan Reynolds. Rufer tried to set it back towards Thompson. On her knees, a little out of position, and a side out to North Central.
Yeah, Reynolds really couldn't handle the original one. Didn't have the greatest pass over to Rufer. Not much he can do but try to dig that one out of the net. Had no chance to try and put a set at the net.
Allie Sanders serving for the Cardinals. Scratch that. Ryan Lally. And a double hit called on Kelly Ador's set attempt.
Reynolds ran clear cross court to try to get back into position. She had come all the way to the outside area to try to make that attack and had to hustle back to get to the middle. Fortunately for the Blue Jays, the Cardinals whistled for the violation. Elmhurst again with their 6-point edge.
Re-enter Aaron Thill, the serve. And Kelly Ador, the senior for North Central, with the kill. Has to have been a frustrating season for North Central, Kevin. This is a team who a year ago was in the NCAA tournament and played pretty well in their first round matchup.
Absolutely. I believe they won their opening round match before losing in the second round. They did lose some valued seniors off that squad.
Antonia V.C. Smith dug out. Phil looks for an opening. The Cardinals are out of position, and it's 23-17. The Blue Jays are on the brink here in the first.
We said now you're at the point where you can just go back and forth. All you have to do is prevent the Cardinals from putting together any kind of run. And they're in great shape to wrap up this opening set.
A lot of the reach of Ador on her attempt. Here's Milky putting it down off of the blocker.
7 set points for the Blue Jays coming up right here now as they leave 24-17. Blue Jays wanted the quick start, and so far that's exactly what they've done here.
And a lesson serving it out just long.
Just a touch long. Didn't miss by much. Now the Blue Jays just have to side out here to wrap up the opening set.
Set point number 2 for Elmhurst. Lucen serving for the Cardinals. Swatted at by Reynolds. Ador has it blocked back, and North Central cannot recover. The first set comes to a close. Elmhurst 25, North Central 18 in the opening set, as the Blue Jays have taken the advantage here at home. Turn me down a little bit. We will have the second set for you in mere moments. This is Blue Jay TV. First set is complete here at R.A. Faginal Hall in Elmhurst. The Blue Jays recording a 25-18 victory in this CCIW tournament play-in match. Blue Jays looking to repeat their 4-set victory over North Central from earlier this year. We talked a lot about how Elmhurst was pretty balanced in the first set. Just a little numbers to back that up. The leading hitter for Elmhurst this season, 226 kills for Megan Reynolds, and then it drops off to 166 for Hannah Lesson. But listen to this. Janelle Thompson has 159. Antonia V.C. Smith with 149. Caitlin Wilkes, 147. Melissa Milkey, 143. And Megan Mullaney had 118 kills this season as well. So there's so many players on this Elmhurst team that can hurt you.
Yeah, a very balanced Blue Jay team, definitely.
North Central will open on serve in the second set. Ryan Lally with the honors. And the Cardinals have the first point on an attack error from Elmhurst.
Hannah Lesson just sailing that one a little too high.
Lally serving again. Attacking Hannah Lesson, who backs up. VC Smith in the middle. Leads it over. Milkey digs it out. On the left edge, Hannah Lesson evens the score.
Nicely played by Hannah Lesson and the Blue Jays. Great dig by Melissa Milkey to keep that play alive for Elmhurst.
(1-1) the score here in the second set. Swatted at by Allie Briner. VC Smith right hands it over the net. Back towards Lucen. Knocked back again. Leaping up is Crystal Wright and pushing it to the right. Over the net, punched backwards. Controlled by Harner. Snuffed by Morgan. Milkey up the left side of the floor. Left-handed attempt from Ador.
Great dig by Morgan for the Blue Jays.
Here's Wright on the left side. Morgan is there after the partial block. Swatted back again.
Elmer's going to get a chance right here.
Good rally for North Central, and it is ended by VC Smith, who attacks from the set slot.
Great opportunity. I thought the Blue Jays were going to try to get the set up there, but VC Smith, great court vision, seeing the opening down the corner. Able to dump it home.
And a lesson is serving, and it's blocked. Back towards the Cardinals, who have had some problems clearing the front row. North Central pushes it long, and Elmhurst has scored 4 consecutive points after North Central opened the scoring here in the second set.
Another handling error here by the Cardinals and another point for Elmhurst. And just like that, the Blue Jays jumping out to a 4-1 lead.
Serving is Hannah Lesson. Continuing to serve for the Blue Jays. Jump ball at the net. Wright has it knocked towards her. Attacked from the set slot. Reynolds puts it down.
Nicely done by Megan Reynolds, just fighting her way through the block. And just like that, Elmhurst is opening it up here on the Cardinals. I'm not sure Sarah McCunker is going to wait much longer before she burns the timeout.
6 consecutive points for the Blue Jays. And make it 7 on a double hit.
This might be one where she just decides to let them play through it and see what they can do.
Up the right side of the floor. Towards the left and swatted at by Ador. A back set from Thill. Ador on the right side converts and snaps the string.
7 straight points for Elmhurst, though. It gives them a 5-point advantage here as the Cardinals finally snapped a streak.
7-2 now in favor of Elmhurst. Entering to serve is Sarah Eggert. VC Smith clears the blockers. North Central somehow manages to keep it off of the floor. Here's Reynolds over the blockers, and this time the Cardinals cannot.
Great dig by North Central. That ball sure looked like it was going for the floor. North Central kept it alive, but Reynolds made sure it went down the second time around.
Harry Morgan on serve. Attacking the libero, Lucen. In the net. Elmhurst is in the net, allowing Another point to North Central. 8-3 is the score. Lucen is serving. Snuffed by the North Central defense. Set up towards Harner. And Harner pulls the Cardinals within 8-4.
He's working it off the Elmhurst block that time.
Lucen serving again. Attacking her counterpart, Morgan. And an opening for Milky right at the edge of the line.
Nicely done by Melissa Milky, just ticketing it right to the back line.
Kind of one of those in-between spots for North Central. You've got to decide what to do, and they opted to let it go. It's now 9-4. Enter Katie Rufer to serve. Janelle Thompson has entered here in the second set as well. And it was pushed down by Amber Ladwig in the middle.
Ladwig just going right over the top line for the Blue Jays. Nothing but space behind them.
Substitution for North Central as Christina Antel enters, a senior out of Wilmington, Illinois. Our officiating crew today is?
Mary Malpede is the up official. Sandy Abenanti, very veteran CCIW crew.
And it is Abenanti at the scorer's table, checking on a couple of things. Here's Antel's serve. Milky winds up over the net. Dug out again by Lucen, who's been busy for North Central, and Elmhurst could not push it over the net. He went underneath.
Cardinals closing to within 3 here. North Central doing all this run. They were down by 6 without the benefit of a timeout. Thought for sure we would see one.
Jump ball at the net. Cannot leave it open for Amber Ladwig.
I wonder if you might see Elmhurst exercise their first timeout instead.
It is 9-7, and remember, Elmhurst was on top 6-1.
7-1 after that early start, I think.
Thompson. Nope. 9-8. Wow.
Karen Saramekunka let the Cardinals fight through the initial run by the Blue Jays, and they've pulled to within 1 now. And a mishandle by Elmhurst, and I think Julie Hall has seen enough here. A timeout. She's off the bench. She's going to call her team over as the Cardinals have fought their way down 6 right back into this one, Tim.
Let me see what I can discover for you. Carthage is leading at home over Illinois Wesleyan, 1-0, and they are up 17-12 in the second set. And that is the only update we have for you at this juncture, as the Blue Jays are talking it over as a squad in what is a 9-9 affair here in the second. Tim Calderwood with you alongside Kevin Jude. Glad you are with us for the CCIW tournament play-in match. The winners will advance to the highest remaining seed. So the Blue Jays could, in theory, end up hosting if both Carthage and Millikin were to lose today. But as we mentioned, Carthage is already up 1 set and leading in the second. And Millikin, at last report, was ahead in their first set of play as well. See if the timeout changed anything. Lucen digs out the attempt from Milky. To the back row. Milky again. Dug out by Lucen once more. She has been really busy defensively for North Central. A back set from Rufer towards Thompson. And it is Thompson, the senior, who ends the run.
Finally, the Blue Jays get the opportunity that they were looking for. An easy ball to handle that came over the net. Great pass to Rufer. And a perfect set to Thompson.
Here's Amber Ladwig, too long.
Cardinals looking for a tip. No call from the officials, so it's a 2 point for the Blue Jays.
11-9 after consecutive points. Ilke towards the left corner. Feeding it towards Briner, who guides it out, and it's 12-9.
Elmhurst may have gotten a break off the original receive that time, as it looked like that one may have been ticketed long, but Eggert elected to play it.
Briner found an opening up the left edge of the floor.
Just down the line.
Returning is Crystal Wright.
This was about the point here in the match where Elmhurst had opened it up a little bit, Tim, in the first set. Let's see if the Blue Jays can put together a run here again.
Harner with a twisting serve.
Good chance again for Elmhurst.
Thompson over the blocker.
Nice back set that time from Roofer. Thompson knows you don't have to go up and try and pound it every time. Sometimes those finesse shots are perfect. Saw that there was a huge gap there between the front row and back row of the Cardinals and just dropped it over the block.
13-10.
And a miscommunication on the far side between Ladwig and Lally. And now another 4-point advantage for the Blue Jays.
Caitlin Wilkes serving for Elmhurst. Blue Jays were ready for the attack from the set position. A decoy for Reynolds, but it's off the antenna on the try from Thompson. (14-11). Amber Ladwig steps back. Jump serve into the tape and down on the wrong side.
Third
15-11.
service error of the match here by the Cardinals. 2 in the opening set, now 1 here.
Serving is Aaron Thill for the Blue Jays. Deep, forcing North Central out of position, and just zinging it over is Allie Briner. Back set for Thill towards Reynolds. Kept alive by the Cardinals.
Reynolds a nice job running cross court and then back to the middle.
Took out again by Lucen. We have been saying her name a lot here so far tonight.
So the Blue Jays can get a chance, and not the greatest set that time from Thill.
B.C. Smith recovered and was able to put it over. After the rally comes to a close, it is 15-12.
Very big point that time for the Cardinals. Tim Elmhurst had several good chances to end that one. Cardinals able to keep the rally alive, and then a mistake by Elmhurst leads to the point for North Central.
Brian Lally into the back row. Towards Reynolds, and Reynolds pushes the advantage to 16-12.
Said Elmhurst just needed a couple of mini runs here to kind of open this one up. And so far you're seeing that first one here as they've pushed their lead from 2 to 4.
Jump ball at the net and down. And a lesson serving again. Can do so many things, listed as a defensive specialist on the roster, and you see your defensive skills there, but you can also step up and hit with the best of them.
Another hitting error by the Cardinals. 18-12, we're exactly where we were 30 points in of set number 1. We're now in set number 2. Same exact score at this point in the opening set as Elmhurst has reestablished control after a nice run by the Cardinals.
Communication on the North Central side, and it's now 19-12, and a timeout.
Going to be Karen Kunka taking the timeout here as the Cardinals, after doing a nice job to come back as they were down 6 early on, Tim, but Elmhurst, they came back, tied it at 9, but since then a 10-3 run by the Blue Jays. And Elmhurst within 6 points here of taking a commanding 2-set lead.
Blue Jays won the first 2 sets against North Central earlier this year. For North Central rallied in the 3rd set. North Central at this point trying to keep their season alive, really. A loss today for either of these schools would end the 2010 campaign.
Yeah, North Central, neither team really with much of a shot here at an at-large. Cardinals at 6 games below 500 have no chance, really. They know their only ticket into the NCAA tournament is to win the conference tournament.
Lucen from the back row. Reynolds in the middle. Lucen is there defensively. On the left side.
A nice job fighting through the block that time over the Blue Jays.
19-13. And entering to serve, Sarah Eggert. Local product, freshman out of Woodridge, Illinois. Targeting Perry Morgan. There's Milky on the left edge. Lucen, who dug it out, also leads it ahead. A back set towards V.C. Smith, and it's blocked. Briner and Harner for North Central. Consecutive points have pulled the Cardinals to within 19-14.
And you saw all 6 Elmhurst players almost right on top of that 10-foot line. All you had to do was go to the back row. That was an easy point for North Central.
Hill back towards V.C. Smith off the blockers.
That's what you want to do here, similar to what we saw in the first set, Tim. Just once Elmhurst has opened up that lead, you can go back and forth here with the Cardinals. As long as you can prevent a run or a couple of mini runs by North Central, Blue Jays are in good shape.
By Allie Briner, 20-15. And Joelle Lucen to serve. Deep and out.
Service error number 4 by the Cardinals. Not what you can afford to do when you're down by 6 and you're trying to serve your way, get your way back into this match.
Here's Katie Rufer. Attack is pushed down by North Central. 116.
Cardinals not going away just yet.
Christina Antel to serve. Right hand at Morgan. Back set towards Thompson. To her knees to keep it alive is Eggert. Rufer a little bit too high, but Elmhurst still gets an opportunity. It's blocked back. From the back row, Eggert. Morgan diving. Here is Lesson stepping up like the hitter we were talking about moments ago. Harner, and it's long.
Whip that one long. Cardinals looking for a touch, will not get it.
22-16. Serving is Katie Rufer. Service attempt. (22-17). Sinead Harner attempts to serve. First set belonged to Elmhurst, 25-18. The Blue Jays looking to take a 2-0 advantage. On the left edge, it's Crystal Wright. And North Central has now equaled their output from the first set.
Cardinals not going away. Elmhurst wants to get the side out here if they can. Have a chance to serve out this set. Don't let North Central get much closer than they are.
Rufer leads it airborne towards Lesson. Sent over and converted by Caitlin Wilkes.
Wilkes, just a jump ball that came back over the net, goes straight up and pounds it to the floor for Elmhurst, ending the Cardinal run.
Thank you very much, she says. And serving as well, with the Blue Jays 2 points away from capturing the second set. Attack from the set slot over towards the North Central bench. And it'll be pushed ahead by Antel. In the middle, it's Thompson, blocked back.
Cardinals just fighting off each point here. Now Elmhurst just wants to side out here, get an opportunity to serve for the second set now.
Amber Ladwig was leading the charge for North Central, a near ace. Sent airborne by Milky. Lesson on the left edge, too short, into the net, and it's 23-20.
See if Julie Hall's going to use her second timeout. She will. Starting to get a little too close for comfort here. The Blue Jays head coach will burn her last timeout. Try to settle Elmhurst down. They were up by 6 again here at this point, Tim. The Cardinals have sliced that lead in half here and remain on serve in the second set.
Again, football on Saturday. It'll be our final football broadcast of the season, both audio or video. Elmhurst will be on the road at Carthage for the finals game of the year, but due to renovations, we will not be able to provide you with the audio from Kenosha. So on Saturday, it'll be your last chance to see or hear the Elmhurst College football team here on Blue Jay TV. So make sure you do not miss that, as the Elmhurst squad, coming off of a loss to North Central, looks to end a long losing streak to Augustana at 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Out of the timeout, North Central serving, and the Blue Jays a little bit out of position. Lesson tries to counter. There's Wright stepping up from the left side, and it's 23-21.
Too big of a hole that time in the Blue Jays defense. And Wright able to exploit it.
North Central is not going anywhere here in this second set. They were down 7-1. Big attempt from Lesson.
That may have been sailing out. Ladwig got her hands up almost as a defensive gesture. And the Blue Jays catch a little bit of a break, and now they get a couple of set points to work with.
24-21 as they look to take a 2-0 lead here at home. Aaron Thill into the net. It took 2 set points in the first set to close out North Central. Elmhurst will have a second set point here, leading 24-22.
Not what Julie Hall wants to see, though. Just want to get the ball over the net in that situation. When you've got 3 set points, you just let the Cardinals fight off one of them by not even getting it over.
Ryan Lally is serving. Here's VC Smith in the middle. Was it tipped? It was. The set belongs to the Blue Jays. 25-22 is the final score in the second, and Elmhurst holds a 2-0 lead. We step aside. Third set comes your way shortly. This is Blue Jay TV. Underway in the third set. Elmhurst on serve, leading 2-0 here on Blue Jay TV. I'm Tim Calderwood alongside Kevin Juday as North Central has an opportunity. That was headed out. Melissa Milkey was out when she handled it. And North Central is on the board first. In the first meeting between these two schools, it was Elmhurst winning the first 2 sets before North Central captured the third to force it to a 4th set. Serving for the Cardinals is Sarah Eggerts. Antonia V.C. Smith leads it over the net. Onto the left side, Janae Harner converts, and the Cardinals lead 2-0. They were able to gather some momentum during that second set, Kevin, rallying not once but twice, really, even though they didn't win. And sometimes that little things can kind of give you an opportunity, especially to start a set.
No, you're exactly right, Tim. I mean, it's the momentum that the Cardinals need to establish here early in the third as the Blue Jays able to quickly end the 2-0 streak. North Central definitely wants to get off to a fast start here, though. They can't have a repeat of what we saw here in the first 2 sets, where Elmhurst was the team getting out to the hot start.
Here's Hannah Lesson to serve. And it is knocked down by Kelly Ador. Joelle Lucen serving. 3-1 North Central in the second. V.C. Smith converts for the Blue Jays. V.C. Smith with 149 kills on the season. Perry Morgan, the libero for Elmhurst. As the Blue Jays have pulled to within a point here in the third. Janae Harner watches it come back from whence it came. Likewise for Ador. And a double hit is called on Ador's set. So we are even at 3 aside. Perry Morgan short. From the back row, it's Lucen. Phil leading Wilkes, who plays it off with a blocker.
Nice job, Caitlin Wilkes, just powering it through the North Central block that time. Ending the point for the Blue Jays.
4-3. Perry Morgan with a deep serve, controlled by Eggert. Phil leading Milkey. North Central's done a pretty good job defensively today against the Blue Jays. Plenty of digs. Ador leads it over. Milkey attacking Lucen. Here is Harner. Nope.
Harner just sailing it wide.
Perry Morgan wide. 5-4. Entering for North Central is Christina Antell. Phil, double hit. Consecutive points for North Central have evened things up here in the third at 5 aside. On tap for the winner of this one is the CCIW tournament this weekend at the highest remaining seed. Carthage leading Illinois Wesleyan 2-0. They are the number 2 seed. Milliken is the number 1 seed, hosting North Park today. And Augustana hosting Wheaton in the other contest as North Central retakes the lead here in the third, 6-5.
Cardinals did a nice job that time to keep that play alive. Looked like Elmhurst had the block from Caitlin Wilkes, but the Cardinals able to punch it backwards and nicely sent over the net by the back row.
Too long on the service attempt for Mantell.
Another service error here for North Central. I believe that's the 5th of the match now.
Katie Rufer appearing for the first time in this third set. Rufer, one of the freshmen on this team, a freshman setter out of Batavia, Illinois, has been splitting time with Erin Thill from that setter slot, as Amber Ladwig will enable North Central to retake the lead at 7-6.
Ladwig just a nice job fighting it through the Elmhurst block that time.
Janae Harner cycling through her serve.
Nice recovery by Melissa Milkey, keeping that alive for Elmhurst.
And a lesson there defensively. Elmhurst tries to push it over the net, and it soars out as Rufer was there. 8-6 in favor of North Central. Here's Harner again. Back set towards Wilkes. And Wilkes ends the run.
Nicely done by the Blue Jays. Great back set that time from Rufer.
Wright putting it down for the Cardinals. Amber Ladwig serving. A transfer for North Central added this season out of McHenry County Community College. And North Central fails to dig out the lesson attempt. It's 9-8. Here's Caitlin Wilkes to serve. Pushed airborne by Lucen.
Little bit of a jump ball situation right over the net. Easy play for Megan Reynolds. Just leaps up and throws it back over. Evens the score at 9.
9-9. Wilkes towards Rufer. Ahead to Lesson. Here is Wright. Diving is Milkey. Rufer ahead for Lesson again. Off the net. And just inside the line.
Nice break for the Blue Jays, kissing the top of the tape and rolling down inside that sideline.
A back set towards Briner. In the middle it is Reynolds. Here is Wright again. Out of the reach of Wilkes as it was tipped. And the score is even at 10 aside. Ryan Lally staring towards the North Central bench, looking for directive, and that was not the directive she was looking for. A serving error to put the Blue Jays in front, 11-10.
Well, in the tight match here, already down 2-0. We can't stress it enough that the service errors, you've got to avoid that. This situation where you just got to get the ball over the net.
Erin Thill over. Lesson converts.
North Central just gave the point to the Blue Jays on that one. Too much force off the serve, receive, sent it right back over the net. Great job by VC Smith setting up and then getting the ball to your setter and letting her help out the attack, and a perfect finish by Lesson.
It is 12-10 in favor of the Blue Jays, and North Central will post the side out.
Job by the Cardinals just to recognize the opening in this Elmhurst defense. Find the open floor and put it away.
Sarah Eggert enters to serve. And a little difficulties on the Thill set.
This match eerily similar to what we saw out of these two teams in the first time we met, Tim. Similar scores on this third set so far has been a slugfest.
Lesson steps up. Diving is Eggert. And Eggert could not lead her teammates too far. 13-12. Hannah Lesson serving just over the top of the net. Bumped over by Ador. Milky. Got it.
Going cross court by Melissa Milky. Nice hole in the Cardinal defense, and North Central unable to get that one. Milky does a nice job to keep it in play as Elmhurst reopens a 2-point advantage.
Loose volleyball. Lesson short with her serve attempt.
Nicely dug by Lesson, though.
Milky to the back row. Punching it over is Eggert.
Eggert just a big spot right in the center of that Elmhurst defense. Perry Morgan unable to get there in time for the Blue Jays.
Elmhurst 14, North Central 13 as Lucen serves. A back set towards VC Smith, and Elmhurst will gladly take the side out. Perry Morgan's turn to serve. Still towards Wilkes. Diving is Lucen. North Central somehow got it over the net. Did they? No.
No, says the linesman on the far side, was signaling that that one did not go over in play.
Couldn't get around the antenna. 16-13. Trying the left side, Harner. VC Smith attempts to chase it down, but it was behind the scorer's table.
North Central staying right with Elmhurst. This was, like we said, very similar to the way they played earlier this year in the third set, where it was a very close third set before the Cardinals grabbed control and won that third one, down 2-0. And North Central down 2-0 again here.
Milky kept alive by Lucen. And a double hit is called. We've seen quite a few double hits today from that set slot.
Yeah, there have been several on both setters, actually.
(17-14). Katie Rufer entering and serving. Back set towards Ladwig. Milky into the net.
Not much, not able to get a lot on that attack. Keeping the Cardinals alive here, down only 2.
Janae Harner dropping back. Spinning through her serve. Blocked at the net. Rufer. Back set towards Wilkes. Jump ball at the net. North Central recovers. Here is Wright. And Wright brings North Central within 17-16. Harder once more. Looking to tie up the score. Milky with other ideas, but it's wide.
Just like that, the Cardinals have fought their way back in again, Tim.
Rufer forced to set it back at the net, but everybody was coming forward, and a timeout for Elmhurst as North Central takes the lead.
Not a good receive that time by the Blue Jays. Katie Rufer had very little chance, trying to avoid going into the net that time. Had no choice but to try and set it back. But unfortunately, the back row for the Blue Jays was all charging up.
(18-17) is the score here in the third set. North Central with the advantage, looking to keep their season alive. Elmhurst taking the timeout, looking for a side out here, trying to find a way to end the run by Harner.
4 straight points for North Central. Was 17-14. Now the Cardinals with a 1-point edge.
Thompson enters with authority.
Much better job by the Blue Jays that time. Great off the serve receive. Perfect pass to Roofer and a great set to Thompson on the outside.
Tied at 18. Wright puts it home.
This is that back and forth that we talked to in these close ones. It's just a matter of who can put together a couple of back-to-back points. Said it was tough.
And ended by Rupert.
Very close at the net, but nonetheless it was tipped by North Central, and it's a very tight race now. Elmer's going to make a serving substitution here. Freshman Marcy Novak onto the floor for the first time tonight.
Novak out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Big couple of points upcoming. And a lesson in the right place to keep it alive, and it is punched down by Reynolds.
Great job by Lesson, and just ended up exactly where Roofer wanted to. It had to go down low to set it up, but Reynolds able to get a good swing and find the open spot.
A back set in the vicinity of Allie Briner. And Briner will once again not the score. 20 aside. Serving is Ryan Lally. Pretty good serve. Lesson over the top of the net. North Central recovers. Wright looking for an opening. Back set towards Thompson, long.
Elmer's just a little too quick that time on offense, Tim. They had North Central on a position as the Cardinals almost let that one drop to the floor. And the Blue Jays rushed it, and now it's a 1-point North Central lead.
21-20. Roofer, back set towards Thompson, over the blockers and in.
Well, it's a race to 4 now, 21-21.
Aaron Thill entering and taking her time as the Blue Jays line up in a straight line. And it doesn't matter with Allie Briner converting.
So it's a matter of who can get points off their own serve at this point, as these two teams have been going back and forth off the side out.
Thill for VC Smith, you bet. Ties it up at 22.
Again, you can't ask for a couple of better things there. Great receive by Morgan, great set by Thill, and VC Smith with authority down the line. Off the block of Elmhurst, down for another point, and the Cardinals within 2 points of this set. Huge point in the match here. It's either set point or it's tied up at 23.
Back and forth we go here in the third. Joel Lucen on serve. VC Smith off the back set, knots it at 23.
Well, now again, Somebody's going to have set point off of this one. Elmhurst wants to break this streak right here. As I think the last 6 points have come off the opposition serve.
Almost an ace, and it is an ace.
Great timing, perfect time for Perry Morgan and the Blue Jays, and match point for Elmhurst.
24-23. The Blue Jays looking to move on into the CCIW tournament this weekend. Morgan nearly with another ace.
See if Elmhurst can use a great opportunity here.
V.C. Smith.
Into the net. Looks like, again, I think they rushed that one a little bit too fast, Tim. They had an opportunity to end it as North Central just had to kind of just flail to get the ball over the net. The Cardinals were way out of position there. It's a situation where you want to make sure you've got a great swing, and I think it was just a little too rushed by Elmhurst.
Phil back set towards Wilkes. Here is Harner, kept alive by Morgan. Now it is Milky. Was it tipped? It was, and we've got a second match point upcoming for the Blue Jays.
Substitutions now for Elmhurst. Katie Rufer and Janelle Thompson back, and Rufer will drop back to serve for the Blue Jays.
(25-24), back set towards Ladwig. Thompson sets up Milky. It's off the antenna, and we continue to play in the third.
Match that just doesn't want to end right now. Cardinals have fought off 2 match points.
Harner targeting Lesson. Here is Thompson stepping up short. To her knees is Antel to keep it alive. And North Central has their first set point of the match. And a timeout for Elmhurst.
Thompson trying to do finesse work that time, but read well defensively by the Cardinals, was there to pick up the short drop by the Blue Jays, and the Cardinals able to handle and keep this one alive, and now they're setting at their first set point.
(26-25) is the score here in the third set of play. Meanwhile, Illinois Wesleyan has forced a fourth set up at Carthage. But in the fourth, Carthage in control. And Milliken is up 2-1 at home against North Park.
Vikings taking a set from the Big Blue there.
Looking to end the set. Janae Harner. Into the middle, it's Thompson who keeps it alive, and we continue to play here in the third.
Blue Jays have done real well handling the Cardinals' serve. Great setup again, and Janelle Thompson coming right down the middle to put that one away.
Big point upcoming. Thompson sets up Wilkes. Diving is Lucen.
Nicely dug by Lucen.
Here is Wright. Rufer towards Lesson. And Lesson will hand the Blue Jays their third set point.
Off the block that time by the Cardinals, and match point number 3.
27-26. And Wright again keeps this one going.
Could be a big momentum shift here. If the Cardinals are able to keep this one alive, it would be a huge momentum boost for them going into the fourth set.
Back set towards Thompson. Jump ball at the net. Caitlin Wilkes will hand the Blue Jays their fourth match point.
Nicely played by Caitlin Wilkes. Just a jump ball, nothing with space to her left, and she dumped it right to the floor. And Elmhurst a chance to wrap it up here. I think Coach Julie Hall trying to see how many subs she has left. Megan Reynolds came in, and I think that's it for her now with subs. So Marcy Novak onto the floor here. taking out Caitlin Wilkes, one of those other middle hitters. See if Novak can get the point for Elmhurst.
Pretty good serve. In on the act defensively as well. Lesson trying to end it.
We're just going to get a free ball right here.
Roofer towards the middle, out of the reach of the charging Reynolds.
Just not timed well by Elmhurst as it goes to 28-28. Fourth match point fought off by the Cardinals.
$28-all. Back set towards Thompson. How about for the fifth time? Elmhurst trying to conclude the match today.
Elmhurst just keeps throwing Janelle Thompson at the Cardinals, and they've had no answer here down the stretch. And Thompson will have a chance to serve for it.
And it is a pretty deep serve. Over towards Harner. Spinning is Ador. Here is Lesson. Was it tipped? It was. And the Blue Jays are marching on. 30-28, Elmhurst in the third set as the Blue Jays sweep North Central to end the Cardinals season. Elmhurst is now 24-12 on the year, while North Central drops to 14-21. And Kevin, that third set was something to watch.
Absolutely, back and forth. Great no quit by the Cardinals that time as they stuck with Elmhurst the whole way. We had a feeling it was going to be close there. Elmhurst had opened up a 3-point lead late, but the Cardinals fought back, actually took the lead in the third. But the Blue Jays weren't going to be denied. They had 4 opportunities, and the North Central fought off and finally able to end it on match point number 5.
25-18, 25-22, and 30-28. The Blue Jays will be headed somewhere this weekend. The highest remaining seed will host the CCIW tournament upcoming this Friday and Saturday. Again, North Park at Milliken, Illinois Wesleyan at Carthage, and Wheaton at Augustana. The Blue Jays are moving onward. Who will they play? Well, check out elmhurstbluejays.com to find out a little bit later this evening. In the meantime, that will wrap up our coverage tonight from R.A. Fagettl Hall. For my broadcast partner this evening, Kevin Judy, and for our entire crew here at Elmhurst College, thanks so much for watching. I'm Tim Calderwood. Good night.